Aye, aye, Captain. All right. Aye, aye, Captain. Oh, I won't. Okay. I'm Bryce.cosplay or Chris. Welcome. This is Beginner's Guide to Wigs. Overview of this panel is we'll go through basic styling tips, where to buy, different types of wigs, the kind of fundamentals of a wig, as well as how to store, and a little bit extra tips and tricks at the end, including possibly what not to do in a water photo shoot. Because recently found that one out. Did you guys know wigs float? I didn't. We all float here. Okay, I will ask that you guys keep your questions and answers questions towards the end, because it might be brought up later in the panel. But that being said, welcome. We all need a tech support, right? Isn't that what Amelie says? Okay. Yes, we're good. Go. We're golden. No, golden. Excuse you? Oh, what? Oh, okay. You want to go to the... Yeah. Is that... This doesn't... Did I mess up? I think I messed up. Anyway. Okay, wigs. Where do you get them, apparently? So there's multiple different sites. There's Arta, Epic Cosplay Wigs, to name like the biggest ones that a lot of people know. Also the like basic beginner ones. You can also get them in a lot of different stores. This is a Wish wig. It's pretty good. So it doesn't really matter where you get them. Some quality could be phenomenal for like $2. Others can be like 180, and it's no. Anyone see that drama on TikTok? I sure did. So yeah, just to name a few, there's Epic Cosplay Wigs. These are just the suppliers and not the commission peoples. So Arta Wigs, Epic Cosplay, Amazon is also a good budget cosplay wig thing. Look at the reviews, always. Whenever shopping online, look at reviews. You'll learn a lot. Taobao is another good one for cheap and easy, but it might take 3 months to get to you. So keep that in mind. Kauso wigs, that is this wig right here. It's a nice, thick, cheap wig. I think this cost me 20 bucks minus whatever's on top here. Some places are going to be more expensive. Some places are going to be cheap. Just kind of keep that in mind. Another good one, save the planet and all this jazz, is Facebook Marketplace. Lots of people sell their cosplays they aren't using anymore on there. You could usually barter. What are you looking at? Rude. Yes, there is cosplay trade sites. One of them, I'm probably butchering this, but Lumica cosplay sale site? Oh, yeah, and also like just different groups that are like cosplay sales, Lower Mainland, cosplay sales, Seattle, enter whatever here. So that is kind of the basics where to get them. Yes. Oh, yeah, that was out of order. Sorry. But yeah, anyway, skipping that. What are wigs? I would hope most people know. But wigs are, God, that is way too low. Wigs are, they can be made up of 2 different fibers, mostly. There's yarn wigs, but we aren't getting into that. There's synthetic fibers, which is what most of us here wear if we are wearing wigs and sell and style and all that jazz. And then there is real hair, which is very pricey, and usually for the medical industry or the drag queens, actually. Lots of drag queens use real hair if they're going for a natural look. But so those are the 2 material types. Then we get into the hairlines, which is fun and fancy and all so much. There is new information every few weeks, so it's hard to keep up. But that being said, these are the base ones. So things like, this is a fixed wig. You can't move this part. It is stuck like this. If you try to move it, it's gonna look very weird. So that is a fixed hairline. Then you got your banged wigs. This is also harder to move, but still possible. You could move the side off of the bangs. You can move the bangs off to the side, in front of the face, kind of like that. So these are just banged wigs. Pretty basic. You could get them kind of anywhere. And then there is your movable parting wigs. Oh my god, I should have brought a... So this, with your part, so that's, where is it? That's your part. Can you guys hear me all the way back there? Awesome. So this you can move anywhere. If you want it more of a side part, you can move it over. If you want more of a center part, you can keep it in the center. It's very flexible. And it's very fun to use for multiple different cosplays. This one is I can move it, and I've used it for 7 different cosplays, all different. Then these are your lace fronts. These ones are going to be more expensive. This one is trimmed so you can't fully see it, but it's going to give you a more natural hairline. So they are definitely more expensive, and most of the time, they have a lot more hair in the front, just to combat whatever your hairline is doing. I love the little clip. So this kind of wig is designed to be glued to your head. I'll get into the types of adhesive you could use later, but just the general, it's made to be glued to you. They are also, you put foundation over the lace just to kind of camouflage it into your skin tone. So the 3 wig types that I said prior, they're cheaper than the lace front. So if you're looking for just a quick, easy, cheap wig, do not go lace front. Sometimes you can get good deals, not all the time. It's very rare to get a good deal on a lace front. And then the new emerging type of wig is a helmet wig, which is this type of wig where it's literally, you can't change the style because it's glued like that. Or like, oh, she went on a concert the other day. But so these type of wigs, you cannot change. They are glued like this. They are called helmet wigs. They're super fun to make when you get the hang of them. But that is kind of just there. Oh, there we go. You can't it's not coming out of that style. Because it is literally fully glued. Okay. The anatomy of a wig. There's a lot to it. So, let's not use that one. That one's a little dark. That one's a little dark too. Wow, okay, I guess we're doing it this way. So you got your ear tabs, and those are gonna go towards your ears. Easy peasy, right? So that is a little cursor if you can't see. So there's your ear tabs. So when you're putting on a wig, it's really easy to get where you're putting it by just holding it and sliding it on like that. As you grab it, and then when you're sliding on the wig, you just kind of over your head. And then you got the top bit, which is the base, top or base. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And then you got the neck, which is all the way down here, which typically always has adjustable straps with little loops that I can't really show this one, but it'll have loops at the base of your neck where you can hook this in to size it better to your head. And then we have the wefts. Wefts are your best friend when making wigs. You can make your own wefts with just chunks of hair that you have taken or pre-sewed wefts. So these are a weft. I'm not gonna take it out, but actually no, I will. I'm taking it out. Live on the edge. So this is a weft. It comes just hair, it's not attached to anything. It's just a row that you can customize. And this you can sew or glue in your wig to make it thicker, to make these kinds of wigs, or to make embellishments like this. This is braided wefts with gems and pearls. So that is kind of, you could do all sorts of things with wefts. You can even use foam, like carve out a shape that you want out of foam, and then paint it and glue wefts on, and there's like a spiky pigtail right there. Or some weird shape that, I don't know, One Piece characters have. Because they have some interesting styles. Love it, don't get me wrong, but interesting. So that is the anatomy of a wig. How do you choose your wig? Pick a name out of a hat. Just kidding. Honestly, you could go Canon. You could go your own made-up version. You can go base it off of fan art. You could look at what other people are kind of doing. Just you do you, essentially. Wigs do not have to be all one thing. They could be, you could add more braids if you need it. You could add like a pigtail. You can add pretty much whatever style you want, go for it. You can do wig styling, opens up so much possibilities. There's not one way to skin a cat, essentially. I think that's the saying. I don't think that's the saying. I think I'm mixing two up. Is it? Okay, that's good to know. Why? It was doing so well, and then I just wrecked it. I wrecked the vibes. For instance, this wig, does any of you guys know Black Butler, Book of Circus? Woo! Okay, that's okay. So, this wig I made for Doll. If you guys don't know, Doll has in the canon, in the book and the monk cartoon, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm fried right now. She has this gigantic thing of just flowers, and that covers her hair. I didn't want to do that. So instead, braided flowers. So you don't have to stick to the source material. You could branch out. But that being said, if you do want to stick to the source material, there is resources like Epic Cosplay Wigs and Arda have pretty much lookbooks. If they're like, this is the character. Oh, here's some wigs you could use. That's a good source material. Pictures are fantastic, especially if they have like the 3D where you see like all of it. Perfect, because you could see the whole 360 rather than, I don't know what the back of you looks like. Screenshots of whatever media you're doing, pages out of comics, whatever. That is all going to help you figure out which style. But that being said, look on YouTube for things as well. Other cosplayers will link what they use in the, sometimes in, if they're sponsored or any of that, in their little posts. Or they'll make videos saying what they use, when, where, how, all of that. But yeah, don't always think you have to go with the binary when it comes to wigs or cosplay in general. You can choose whatever you want. You can make it your own twist. You could go completely canon. You could go fanon. Whatever you so desire. I'm just gonna throw this wig out. No, hand's suffering. But character guides are also very helpful on wig sites. Okay. Bread and butter. So, wig heads, you need those because you're not doing anything without it unless you hold it and you're like, oh god, this is pain, and I'm just brushing it out. You want to actually style a wig? You're going to need either somebody's head or a wig head. Preferably somebody's head not decapitated. That is a bit of a no, and you can face jail time for that one. So stick with plastic or foam, please. Yeah, just kidding. So there's 3 different types of wig heads. If you have a flake skeleton in your house, you could use that too, but they're like that big. I don't think your head is like that big. So there is a foam head. This is the cheapest, easiest one you could get. You could get them Michael's on Halloween. You could get them anywhere. I think Party City has them year-round. Dollarama has them year-round now. Woo! A+ Dollarama. These ones, they're kind of harder to travel with, but entirely possible. Then you got, goodbye. You got these ones. They are perfectly travelable. They are just plastic, thin, and once you collapse them, watch me break this. I just said that. See? They fold. It's perfect. It's easy. You could travel with these so much nicer. Yes, you could get them. Arda Wigs sell them. So does Epic Cosplay Wigs. You could probably find them on Amazon. I haven't actually looked because... Oh, there we go. Hello. Goodbye. And then I don't have an example here, but there is canvas wig heads. Those ones are probably going to be your most pricey option for wig heads because they are canvas. When you're using those, I highly recommend wrapping it in cellophane or plastic wrap, whatever you call it, because too much product can actually mold them. So, I know, it's fun. So that is a wig head. Then there are your stands. These are going to make your life more convenient. Typically, if you're buying a canvas wig head, they will come with a stand, which is a C-stand. So these will clamp onto a desk, pretty much a chair, if you're that desperate, a slab of whatever, they'll attach. They are very portable. They usually come with a canvas wig head, or you could buy them separately. Amazon has them, Epic Cosplay Wigs has them, Arta has them, Kauso Wigs I believe also has them. They're just generally easy, especially if you live in a place where there's not a lot of room. And then there are your more fancy stands, your tripod stands. Those ones they take up space, but they're very convenient because you can match the height. You can also make them for cheap with a broom handle and some sort of stand that you kind of Mod Podge. Jerry rig it. There's a lot for that. There is a lot of tutorials on YouTube as well as TikTok. I haven't seen any on Instagram, but there's probably something on Instagram as well. So if you want to jerry rig your own tripod, click on those. But buying them is kind of a little bit easier because they come with an adjuster. You can kind of a carrying case as well as a strap if you're portable, if you're taking it places. That being said, it's going to be pricey if you buy them. For the good ones anyway. The flimsy ones that'll fall over when you just tap it. But yeah, so those ones are going to be a bit more pricey and kind of take up more space. So if you're in an enclosed area with not a lot of room and not a lot of storage, highly do not recommend them. Yes, having that size adjustment option is very nice because some wigs are very long and you don't want to sit or lie down on something in order to brush them out. That too, you could also spin it most of the time. Oh, that's good to know, thank you. I did not know that. Apparently you could rent them. Oh, okay, good to know. Yes, thank you. So I forgot about that one. Universities that have hair schools attached to them, sometimes students leave their tripods or their equipment. You could get cheap stuff that way. You just be like, hey, 20 bucks, I'll take all of that. They're like, okay, get it out of here. So then, scissors. Do you need fancy scissors? No, you absolutely do not. That being said, I do kind of have fancy scissors because I do this a lot. There's two types of scissors. There is just regular scissors. You can use kitchen shears, you can use dollar store, you could use craft scissors. I wouldn't recommend the no cutting craft scissors because those won't do anything. But yeah, you don't need anything fancy. I want to stress that. You do not need fancy equipment to be able to style wigs. You can do it with very cheap stuff. Sewing scissors, don't do that with the sewing scissors. And then there are thinning shears. So these are scissors that have kind of cutouts along the blade. They will take out chunks rather than a whole piece, if that makes sense. Yeah? Okay. So these will take out like pieces inside the section that you are holding. So like, this is a section of hair. Instead of chopping all of that off, you're going to chop maybe a quarter of that off because of the little divots in the blade. These are also from Amazon. They were 20 bucks. Combs. Combs are essential in this line of work. You want a selection when after you've kind of gotten used to it, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. Get a selection. The main ones I personally use is a wide tooth comb. So like typically the one I forgot, it's wider than this. So it has like probably that much space in between the teeth of the comb. And then you want something a little thinner as well, just to kind of make sure you could do those awesome Miku wigs where you're like, yeah, look at me, I'm God. And then there is a teasing comb. This one is super fun because you don't have to spend 45 minutes teasing your wig. I will get into that as well. You just like, whoop, whoop, done. And then you brush it out and you're like, look at all that hard work, gone. Okay. So, and then there's brushes as well. I wouldn't recommend anything with a lot of teeth for brushes. You want something, oh, also these are teeth, in case no one knew. Those are the teeth of your comb. So you don't want something with a lot of teeth or a lot of bristles because then it just kind of doesn't work out well, and you don't want to use a brush to do the bulk of your work. You want to kind of just get some of the bigger tangles out, not all of the tangles out, because it will pull out more hair than it's worth. Your heat tools, do you need a lot? No, you actually don't. You don't need a crimper, a curling iron, a steamer, straightener, all of that. I would say if you're starting out, pick one. You like crimped wigs? Okay, great, get a crimper. If you want to do more, I would recommend instead of a crimper, get a straightener, because I will get into all of that as well. But you don't need a whole armada of tools to do it. You could just stick with one. I will say the basic ones that I find are the best is a steamer, a crimper, a straightener, and a blow dryer. Okay, her basics is a steamer and a straightener. My basics, because it's a little bit more. Sorry, apologies for that one. Oh, I lost what I was saying. Rude. You don't need to buy the top of the line straightener, curler, whatever. Go to Value Village. They have stuff that gets thrown away because, oh, I want the new and awesome. I got a $75 straightener for like $10 at Value Village. So keep that in mind. Also, you could just like Amazon it too. Yeah, you could also, wigs are not toxic. They won't make you bald. So you can use whatever tools you use on a wig, you could also use on your hair. Hair ties of different kinds. So like the classic elastic hair ties with the fabric covering it. They're great. Use them all the time. But if you want more of an invisible style where you don't have to cover the hair tie, the clear elastic bands, or you can match them to the hair color of the wig, are great. Sewing pins of some sort. So you could get T-pins. They're like little thicker pins that kind of shape out like a T. Yeah, don't step on them, they hurt. Drew blood the other day. You could get basic sewing pins, you know, kind of the stuff your grandma used to use. You could get also extra long ones for if you're going into the more heavily styling with the bangs and all that. Those are super handy for the more detailed work. But if you're just looking to secure a wig and make sure it's not going to fly off your wig head, just the basic pins work. Bye. So like right now, she's not really pinned in, so she's going to fall, right? Whereas if you secure them enough, you can literally turn them upside down, shake them a little bit, and they're stuck. They are stuck. And then clips. You always want clips. I'm gonna, surprise, look at little, so you want clips of some sort. I forgot mine, so we're gonna use the prize ones. They don't have to be like this. You could use little like alligator clips. You can use little pin clips. The best way to get more use out of these is if you have a large section of hair, instead of just like throwing it up, clip it, woo, twist it, and clip. That'll hold it more securely, and you can get a lot of hair in that little twist. So you pretty much just, I wish I had a different wig. So pretty much you have it, you grab it, you're like, woo, twist it, and then to the wig head, and you clip it like that, keeps it out of the way, and you have whatever you wanted to work on. But clips are the essential with styling, because it gets pieces separated. Bonus tools, tears, and blood. Maybe a little witchcraft. No. Okay. So these are just some examples. Little bonus tip for teasing, a bristle teasing comb is godsend. It's so much nicer than the plastic ones, but use what you got. Oh yeah, you can also use toothbrush. Don't use it before you use it for wigs. That's super unhygienic, but just a new cheap toothbrush works great. Especially for small little areas you can't actually fit a comb in. Okay. Styling basics. Don't immediately take a piece and go right off the bat. Because you can't put that back on. It's over. It's game over. So this involves heat as well. If you don't know, start low. So with cutting, start lower than what you would think. If it's your first time styling wig and you don't have any of the fun little things you've learned through sweat, tears, and crying, just keep trying it on as you go. And also heat. Burnt wigs smell nasty. No thank you. So you definitely want to start at a lower temperature and work your way up. Some listings for wigs will let you know what temperature you can go up to, but in the event of, Facebook Marketplace, Taobao, any of those, start low. Start low. There's more than one way to style a wig. Case in point, if you want thickness, teasing, as well as crimping. Those are two very different things that get more volume into your wig. That too, adding wefts is also a good way of making volume. This is teased and added more wefts. So they're nice and thick, a little ruined, but. Oh yeah, I said, yes, crimped. There's also like different ways to get spikes, there's different ways to get like buns. YouTube has a plethora, as well as TikTok, of just tutorials and different ways people do different things, or the same things. So I also have wig styling videos on my YouTube, Bryce.cause, woo, self-plug. Trust the process. It's gonna look like hot garbage until it's done. Yes, unless you're on a time crunch, then it's not valid. Just get it done and cry later. Or cry while doing it. Your tears might block the vision, but no, like, trust the process. Please don't look at it and be like, I have to buy a whole new wig and start over. Probably not. Just keep going, keep working at it. It'll hopefully not. Once you get more into it, you'll start learning things, tips, tricks. If it looks like hot garbage, you're like, I know how to fix that. Or no, this is going exactly the way I want it to. And then at the end, you're like, oh my God, it's great. You could also embrace the hot garbage. It's always fun. No one will know except for you. Unless you have like, this is my look. This is the look I'm going for. And you post that everywhere and you tell everyone and they're like, oh, what happened? It's like, we don't talk about this. If you use too much hairspray, use a Q-tip with 99%. Oh, sorry, wrong tip. You can either brush it out, so you don't have to worry about like, oh God, I have to wash this wig. No, you don't. You can brush it out, or water and a Q-tip will help kind of smooth it out so you can't see it. It's more thinner. Too much glue. Hopes and prayers. Just kidding. I mean, with hot glue, yes. If you're using adhesives like E6000 or craft glue, you could smooth it. Craft glue, you could smooth out with water. Found that one out. You could use acetone or 99% alcohol to smooth out this. Hot glue, you can kind of smooth out. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Just cover it with a Sharpie or something. Yes, hot glue can hurt. Okay. Cutting, like I said earlier. Don't take a huge chunk. Start small, start low. Also, unless you are taking that huge chunk off, you can go snip. Wait, I have scissors to show you. You can go hair here, snip, snip, snip. But you don't want to, unless you're going for a really blunt style, you don't want to cut it that way for the entire wig. Instead, you want to go like that. You want to point your scissors up and down, and slowly, it's going to take a while because wig styling does not take 2 seconds. It takes a hot minute. Case in point, I've spent on the wig I just finished, it was about 40 hours. It's not for the faint of heart or the too little time. But that being said, don't cut across, just cut up and down like that. Slowly, you'll get where you want and it'll look more natural and it gives more texture. Smaller sections give you more control. Helps more yeah, so pretty much, there we go. Teasing. What is teasing? Teasing is when you take a piece of wig, and let's just pretend this is the top of the wig, and then you grab your brush, and that's teasing. You do it until it looks like a bird's nest. And then at the end, Obviously, this is a lot nicer because I only did it twice. So pretty much by the end of your teasing, it should look like the top corner. It should pretty much be sticking up, pieces everywhere. Don't brush it out fully. You want to brush it until it's just smooth and malleable. So you want it to look like kind of this, but you know, you just saw me tease it, right? So you know there's something in there. It doesn't come apart as easy compared to that. So it gives it more bulk that way. It gives it more texture, and it gives it a more structured appearance. So a lot of people like to make the really spiky bangs that way. You could also spray it with hairspray to give it a little extra hold. Not necessary, but typically what people do is they'll take their section, tease the absolute crud out of it, brush it out, and then tease it again, smooth it down, and then there you go. Some people do it a lot for one section. You don't have to, but depending on what the style you want and if it's actually holding, figure out what you need. But yeah, it's an old-fashioned way of getting the texture you need. You can make it look like the 80s. 70s was a lot more, I'm not getting into that. And then another way, like probably a lot of you guys have seen for thickness, maybe not structure, but thickness, crimping is a good way. If you like the crimp marks, great, you could wait till it's cool and then brush it out. But if you do not like crimp marks, I personally don't, as soon as you're done crimping it, brush it. You still get the thickness, you just don't get as many of the crimp marks. And you also if you don't like crimp marks, you want to take really small sections. So it'll take a while, but it's worth it. So if you also don't like crimp marks, what you could do is you can the under layers, so kind of take off the top, or not take it off, but just pin up the top, and then you just crimp all what's underneath, and then brush it out, lay the rest of the hair down. You won't even tell it's crimped because all the hair up here that you see is hiding it. But yeah, no, crimps are a good way to add volume to the base, the ends of the hair. Curls. Wig styling, curls, any of that. If you like any of that. Wigs, I can't think of words. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. So, words. Style wigs only hold style when they're cold. So, when they're hot, if you, your normal hair, when you curl it, if it's hot, it stays in that curl. With wigs, if you curl it, it's just gonna drop. If it's still hot, it's gonna drop. So you have to hold it in whatever curl or whatever until it cools down, and then take it out of, if you're doing a spiral curl, take it off of the stand, whatever you're using to curl it. Holding it in your hand, just kind of move your hand away. It'll hold when it's cold. I rhymed. It won't stay if it's hot. Hairspray will help, but it still won't hold if it's heated. So you have to style it, let it cool down, and then you got your style. Make sense? Probably not. Okay. Shush. So there's a couple different ways you can curl a wig. You can use just a classic hair straightener, curler. Do it how you would curl hair. Pretty much just curl it into the barrel or into the straightener. And then once you're done, take it away, but hold that curl. And then once it's cool, drop it. Style, woo! Another way is if you don't have a curling iron, you could heat it up with a straightener. Make sure that, wear a heat glove with this. You can, or suffer, don't do that. That's painful, your hands hurt afterwards, coming from a hairstylist. You wanna heat that strand up, take whatever, take a pole, pull like that, empty paper towel roll, wrap the hair around whatever size you want, let it cool that way, boom, you got yourself a curl without having to rely on a heat tool like a curling iron. Another way, if your wig is not heat proof, because there are some out there still that are like that. Early 2000s is great for this. But what you would do, next slide for this. You can do something like this. You take pins, like in the top corner, or you could take a roller set, roll the hair into a similar vibe, what that lovely lady there has, and steam the absolute crud out of it. Let it cool, probably a day or two. You could also do this with wet wig hair. That one takes so much longer though. And then after you take it out, there'll be more waves. Sometimes you could get the really nice curl, but they don't last nearly as long. And then you hairspray after you steam it. Make it crunchy. Don't make it crunchy. Wearing your wig. How do you wear it? On your head, preferably. You can put it on your knee. So with hair, you want to make sure, with wigs, you want to make sure your natural hair is up. That usually involves a wig net. There's two different kind of styles. There's the headband wig net where you just pull it over your head, pop it up, make sure that the elastic part of it is where your hairline is, and this part is at the top of your hair. So this is just the opening. There's ones where it's a full cap. Those ones are a little bit harder, I find, to put on. Or you could be a rebel like me, and I just braid my hair back. I do not recommend that one for really long hair. My hair is like that, so it works. But really long hair, if you miss a piece and you have like a white wig and your hair is black, you'll see it. But those are kind of the three. This third option is frowned upon, but we do what we want. There's also things to make wearing it easier. So if you have a really heavy wig, you could get things like this. This is a wig grip, so it goes kind of like a headband. Pretty much, it'll give you like little directions, like this one says, this side up. So then you just kind of pop it over, it's secured. I can't do it because of my hat. And then you just put your wig over and it helps hold it. Bobby pins are your bread and butter with securing wigs. If they're not helmet wigs. If they're helmet wigs, these are your bread and butter. With glue. So if you have to glue your wig on, you have a few options. There's spirit gum. A lot of people are allergic to this, but there is an alternative. So please, if you are not familiar with spirit gum, get a small Halloween pack to test it rather than committing to an entire bottle like this, because this is not cheap. So if you find out you're allergic and you're like, I just wasted like $70. It's not 70, but like, that's just pulling a number. If you are allergic to spirit gum, there's something called Prozaid. It is a medical grade adhesive you could swallow and not die. But those are the two kind of options. There's also double-sided tape, specifically for like body safe tape that you can use. I find that tends to peel with sweat a little bit more, but those are four technically, for securing your wig without the use of a wig grip. And then there's, like I explained earlier, with the capsizing in the back of the neck here with the little hooks. If your wig is if your head is too large for the wig, because unfortunately some people bodies are different, you can make a triangle in the back, like fully cut it out. Or that's the wrong one. You just pretty much split it down the middle. You will need an extra wig or wefts, and you pretty much just add extra wefts where you cut it to give it more space. If your head is too small and it's already all the way, you take the triangle, you cut it out, you could sew it, you like pinch the sides that you just cut, and then you could sew it together, and there you go. It's smaller for you. Yeah, like in the bottom, Prozaid, spirit gum, bobby pins. Typically, you can't pin them up here much. So unless you force it, you don't want to force it because you can really stab yourself. But you want to pin more along the ears and like the back side of it. If you have long hair, braid your hair, do a crown. It doesn't have to be like a crown braid, just like braid your hair, wrap it around your hair. Gives you more anchor points. But pretty much, that's okay. That's okay. So pretty much when you're putting on a wig, grab the ear tabs, slide it on. Fix the bangs if you have them, pull out any little stragglers, but, so I'm trying to be careful with this one, but like, grab your, or you could grab the forehead, and just kind of, like, make sure it matches where you want it. It's not tucked in the back, you have no ear tabs tucked, the bangs are out, voila, you've just put on a wig. And then once you did that, you can apply the spirit gum or the Pros-Aide, whatever glue you're using, along your hairline and your ears. Wait for it to dry, and then you just kind of press it down. You can use like a headband essentially to kind of keep it pressed, and you could do your makeup, great. Or you could just kind of, at the end of your makeup, just boop, done. Or you put your bobby pins in at this time. You can also get little individual combs to kind of help grip the hair. Some wigs do already come. They're usually centered at the temples, and you just kind of slide it underneath your wig or the forehead. But that is the basics on how to put on your wig. Washing. Do you have to wash your wig every single time? No. In fact, that will break down the fibers.
Depends on what you're doing at that point.
That's true. But you don't, if you're just doing a photo shoot where there's no debris, there's no like water, there's nothing like that, you do not have to wash your wig all the time. In fact, it's probably better to not wash your wig as much. 99% alcohol, spritz it in the cap, you're good. That being said, oh no, I did a water shoot. I have chlorine, I have mud, I have sand in my wig. How do I wash it? Take it out of the style. Unfortunately, that hard style that you just did, take it out. You're going to fill something large enough where the wig can be free willy. Cold water only. Do not use hot. And then in the water itself, a few spritz of shampoo. Lay your wig down. Don't rough it up. Don't be like, yeah, let's go. Instead, you want to just kind of massage it in, rinse it out, and then let it dry completely before you brush it. When you're brushing your wig, start at the ends with a wider tooth comb and slowly work your way up. It'll take a while, but your wig will not be damaged. Massage it. Do not be rough with your wigs unless you're back combing, or you just want to throw it somewhere and then you go, woo! Okay. Oh, if you're having troubles with tangles, diluted fabric softener. You could also do diluted conditioner in a little spritzer bottle, shake the crud out of it, spray it in with your steamer afterwards, like spray it on the wig, and then with your steamer, just slowly work it out. Saves a lot of time and a lot of tears. Slow and steady honestly saves your butt. Okay. Storage. You could honestly store them anywhere. All of my wigs that don't really have a set style, like my helmet wigs, or I mean this guy kind of, I just throw that around. But like wigs like this, where it's just I just shove it in the bag. Loosey-goosey, you could hang them. People really like the wig walls that they were doing. Honestly, with these ones, whatever you want to do, you can put it back in the bag. Keep your bags. These are handy, by the way. You could also use them for trash cans. You just pop them in like so, put it in a drawer wherever you want to store your wigs. I just lost my hat. You could get little of those cubes if you want, fabric cubes, put them in. You could keep them in Tupperware. You can keep them, it's pretty much wherever you have space. Brush them out after though. With helmet wigs, like these two, I keep them in a place where they will not get bugged too much. I don't want my cats playing with them. I don't want my sister to be mad and be like, no, off with the wigs. So I keep them on the wig head to keep the style, and then I put them on the top shelf. Do you have to do that? No, but it's certainly handy. You can travel with them in a bag. I do highly recommend gentle. Be very gentle. Put some like newspaper in the underneath when you're traveling with them in a bag, just to kind of help it not be so flat. But yeah, just for the most part, storage-wise, when you're not wearing it, you're not going to a con. Helmet wigs you want, or heavily styled wigs in general, you kind of want to keep on a wig head, and where no one will kind of attack it. Never mind. You could also get a takeout bag. Yeah, YouTube honestly has so many tutorials. I cannot stress this enough.
But if you have a heavily styled wig as well, I'm so sorry.
I'm offended.
And if you don't want to get rid of that style, alcohol.
Yes, alcohol will also clean your wig, like I said earlier. You're rude. Oh, yes. Not so friendly beginner tips. If you need spikes, buns, any of that, like a more structured style that's not just made out of hair, you could use styrofoam, you could use EVA foam, you could use floral foam. You could even make tape structures out of wire and masking tape and just put wefts over it. Undercuts, side shaves, you want to add a lot more wefts. Not like, oh my god, it's nothing but wefts, but you just want to, if your wig is a bit thinner, you want to add a few just in between the layers, so then when you cut them, they're not like, I could see everything. Water shoots. I recently did one for the first time, and let me tell you, there's a lot you are not prepared for. First of all, glue your wig down. Don't trust bobby pins, because wigs float like Georgie. I'm sorry, that one was all called for. But yeah, glue your wigs down. Be prepared for an absolute tangled mess. Wigs do not weigh you down. They don't. You would think so. I had a Jinx wig that was full on, like they're full, thick braids. I thought I was gonna drown. In theory. In practice, no, I was posed and the wig went up. So I have a beautiful picture of an egghead. Also, if you're doing stuff like that, where it's like the more intense shoots, practice. And I don't mean like in a bathtub. If you're at the location, get in the water and just practice. Watch which way the wigs are moving. Always be aware that your bangs will be in front of your face and like all that fun, wonderful, overstimulating stuff. So with water shoots, just make sure that your wig is glued down. You're aware it's going to be Medusa there. No, not Medusa. Yeah, Medusa, and it's going to be everywhere. So you're not going to get the picture-perfect, sleek, underwater, wavy mermaid hair. You're going to get, oh, I woke up like this. Yeah. Do I have any others? There's a me question. Oh yeah, here's some resources and tutorials. I'll leave that up. No. So, Rit dye. Synthetic. Has to be synthetic. Or, you could also paint it with acrylic paint. If you need a more temporary option, hair chalk. Sharpie baths, but those reek. Also, do that in a very, very open area. Oh. Cool. Okay, before I get into the Q&A, I just want to reiterate, if there's newcomers, I have a draw for this lovely bag here of goodies. If you haven't already, you're more than welcome to come up and put your name in. I have little pieces of paper. I also have badge ribbons and stickers up front as well. So you're more than welcome to do that. But is there any questions that I can hopefully answer? No. So you want to untangle your wig. Dry. You can, yes, you do not want to start brushing out your wig when it's wet. When it's wet, it's going to stress the wigs, it's gonna snap them, it's gonna bend them, so when they snap back, they're gonna be like, ugh. And there's not really a way to fix them. You're also going to pull out more hair than it's worth if you do it wet, because the glue and the sewing holding it up, it's soft. Okay. Todoroki. No, it's where it doesn't really matter. The only thing you're doing with that is over directing. So when you lay it down, some of it's going to be like, let's say, it's more of a angled rather than like straight down. Although if you're wanting a little bit more like, for instance, her little bangs here, they're kind of like bumped. If you're looking for something like that, if you have your steamer or even a hot tool, you just heat up whatever piece you want. You stick whatever to kind of keep it lifted, and once, like while it's hot, and then once it's cooled down, you take it away, and it's still lifted like that. Does that answer? Yeah, but it doesn't give any more to the wig than just basic crimping. Oh, I have too many. The last I counted, which was probably 2 years ago, I had 68 wigs. It's grown. Yes, you would. Yes. Yes, you can airbrush. I wouldn't say for airbrushing, no. The most you're gonna get for that is dip dyeing. So your big pot of Rit or your Sharpie bath. I mean, you can do it with permanent markers, like just painting, but that's a lot of process and you're probably gonna run out of quite a few markers. So dip dyeing would probably be your best option. And what that is pretty much, so pretty much the end is going to be a lot more darker than like up, but you pretty much just, you dip it and then you keep dipping it until you get the consistency and color you want. Ow. Alice, nope. Okay. I get the same thing, and that's why I braid my hair and just that way. What you can do also, what I've tried, you want to show? Maybe. If you put a piece of folded up paper towel underneath the wig net, right where the elastic sits, you do that in the front, and in the back, it helps kind of keep the pressure off of your scalp. Hydrate though. That is one of the main reasons you get a wig headache. Also, take breaks if you need. Do not be afraid to just pop off your wig and breathe. They get very overstimulating, especially if you're not used to them. Yes and no. Some do. I haven't really figured out the rhyme or reason because there's no like sizing guide. It's just, here you go, here's a wig grip. I just stretch it. I will literally, sometimes I will sit there, just stretch it out. You might hear a few, but that's fine. Make sure where you're putting the glue, there's no makeup. So if you've already done your makeup, take a little makeup wipe or 99% alcohol, just clean the area, pop on the glue, wait till it's tacky, and then put it on. For spirit gum, there is spirit gum remover. If you don't have that, it's perfectly fine. You just want anything that's oil-based. It could literally be extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil if you're in a pinch. But anything oil-based will remove any adhesive. There's also a Pros-Aid remover, but makeup remover just gets set up perfectly fine on its own. Also, please, for the love of everything, don't just rip it off. If it's glued down, do not just go whoop. Take a Q-tip, whatever remover you got, and just shove it under, and then go back and forth and slowly work it. If you remove something with adhesive, you run the risk, not properly, with just ripping it off, you run the risk of hurting yourself. Okay, I'm gonna take 3 more questions, and then I'm gonna do the draw. So, yes. That is a very long process. So the main gist of it is you take the wig, you make it bald. You take off all those wefts, you make it bald. You can keep the bangs if that's what you want, but, and then you want to lay down, glue whatever little pieces you missed, put on quilt batting to give it more structure, more stability, and then you just start gluing on wefts. That is a very, very cut and dry, like basic explanation. I have some stuff on my YouTube. Hey, do you want to go to the about me? I think I have, or no. I think I have at the very end, I think I have a thing. Oh, we'll figure it out. Oh, okay, never mind, I lied. But do I have anything at the very end? I think I have a QR code. But YouTube and TikTok have a lot more tutorials than I can really give you information in this 2 minutes. So I'm so sorry about that. Yes, Duncan Roba. No. So synthetic fibers will adhere to the color. So the most temporary solution you could do is hair chalk. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you introduce sugar to a wig, you might be dealing with a lot of flies and potentially mold. I'll get you after. Trim it. Just, yeah. So pretty much when you're cutting it, flip it inside out, mark where you want, and then just cut it. You can add a little bit of hot glue or like regular E6000, whatever, to kind of stop the fibers from like spreading or fraying, but just trim it. Trim it to your hair. The wig itself, or like the hairnet? Oh. So pretty much like ears here, this is kind of what you do? So what you can do is crisscross hairspray as well, but crisscross in front of like your little, before the ear, and then that'll keep it secured. And then you could also crisscross in the back and then just using the elastic kind of fold it over. Make sense? Yeah. Rainbow Dash. Yes, it's just a lot of work. It will take a while. I messed up my Jinx wig pretty bad, and that is a 4-foot wig, not lying, of straight hair, and it took me 3 days to fix it. But it's entirely possible. You just have to have a lot of patience. A steamer or a very low straightener will help. You just run it over the fibers and then brush it out. Just be very gentle. Cry a little bit because you're gonna need it. But it's entirely possible. You don't have to throw out a wig just because it's badly tangled. It's just gonna take a while. If you melted it, that is a whole different ballgame and you're done. But unfortunately, we are capped, so are you, everyone good? Everyone entered? So I'm sorry, you're forever holding your peace. Carson, draw the name. It's your first con, dude. Okay. Drum roll, please. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced this. Huaxue? Huaxue. Is that you? But thank you all for coming. Do you guys mind if I take a quick?
Also, if you like old boys, I'm hosting a panel.
Yes. Oh, what was that? There we go. But thank you all. If you want to find me, I am Bryce.Cause across the social media platform. And I am also hosting a airbrush panel tomorrow, which will once again have another prize. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you found it educational.